Konnichiwa! Welcome to Chocolate with Ed Garcia. This is Chocolate. I'm Ed Garcia, and today we're going to talk about Makita ga daisuki desu. Makita ga daisuki desu. Makita ga daisuki desu. We're going to talk about a Makita application, specifically Speech 15 examination. We're going to examine the way a U.S. patent examiner would examine this application, 16597-304. The best part of Chocolate with Ed Garcia is eating chocolate with Ed Garcia. Get your chocolate, your lovely chocolate, open it. We're going to have a simultaneous chew, a same time eat. Bring it near your mouth. Ready, 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 go. Delicious. Oishii. Let's eat some more. Let's do a second simultaneous chew. Ready, ready, go. That's really, really, really good. Okay, enough. And now, simultaneous sip. A simultaneous sip of water, of coffee, tea, whatever you like. I like coffee. Ready, go. Oishii. Chocolate tastes better when you share it with a friend. Coffee tastes better when you share it with a friend. Thank you. Now let's continue. I'm a U.S. patent attorney. I was a patent examiner for 4 years. This is all my personal opinion, not legal advice. Continuing. Let's talk about patent examination. As you recall, see speech number 4 about patent examiners. But today, I'm going to talk about the examination process, specifically for this application, a Makita application. Now, a mechanical primary examiner, a primary examiner in the mechanical arts, gets approximately 6 hours to examine a patent application. That is 2 hours of reading, 2 hours of searching, and 2 hours of writing or typing. Okay? 6 hours, that's all he gets. Now, this Makita application has good inventions, it has good figures, and it has good directions. Left, right, up, down, front, rear. In every figure, it has good directions. This application also has a bad title. The title is Backpack Type Device. That's a bad title. See Speech 1 for additional information about titles. Now, what is a good title for this application? Something like A including B and C. A including B and C. In this case, backpack type device including support plate and vertically slidable back plate. Okay? Support plate and vertically slidable back plate. That's a good title. Now, this application also has a bad specification in the sense that a bad image was submitted to the patent office. This creates many problems. Additionally, this is a bad specification substantively for many reasons, as we will see. Also, the original claims 1 through 5 are bad. To summarize, good inventions, good figures, good directions. Bad title, bad specification image, bad specification substantively, and bad original claims. Continuing. Let's look at the image of the specification that was filed. This specification was probably filed electronically. I suspect that the specification was converted from Word into a PDF, portable document file, and then somehow compressed into a different kind of file, a compressed file, and then decompressed, and then someone else compressed it again using a different program and then decompressed. Now, most compression algorithms lose information. They are lossy. They lose information when they compress and decompress. And if you do 2 or 3 compressions, decompressions, using different algorithms, using different equations, different programs, weird things may happen, such as, look at this letter R. See the white squares in it? This is the image on the U.S. Patent Office website for paragraph 0000. This is cross-reference paragraph 0000. The whole specification has this low quality image, very difficult to read. Usually, as a patent examiner, I like to read directly from the specification that was filed. I print it, I read it. Cannot do that. This is such low quality, I cannot do that. So, let's look at one more part of this specification as filed. 14b. In paragraph 82, where they talk about figure 5, 14b, it has the same problems, the same very strange artifacts due to compression, decompression. Now, what about the U.S. Patent Office publication of this application? The Patent Pub, United States Patent Application Publication Number 2020-0113317, paragraph 83, states 14b. Now notice, they got rid of these squares. These squares are no longer present, but this B looks italic, right? It's slanted. This is an italic B. Somehow the optical character recognition at the Patent Office converted this B into an italic B. Kind of strange, right? Now, what about Google Patents? If you go to Google Patents and try to get this specification in text format, it says 14b italic, but space. There's a space between the 4 and the B, okay? So when Google Patents optical character recognizes this application, it creates 2 errors, the space and the italicized B. Now, the italicized B does not cause me problems. The space, you will see, causes problems. All because a bad image was filed. Okay? Okay, here is figure 1. Now, if you look at the blue ink, body, main body part, shoulder belt, backpack style, power supply device, shoulder belt, pouch, back carried part, waist belt. There are 8 sets of reference characters that are annotated with blue ink. These 8 are discussed in the specification when it discusses figure 1. Good, good, very useful. in the specification, in the detailed description of the figures, it discusses figure 1, these 8. What about the other features? What about 14b? 14b. Well, I searched for 14b in the Google Patents text document, okay? I copy and paste from Google Documents into a Word document. I search for 14b. There is no 14b. No matches, okay? No 14b. But as we know, there is 14 space b, but I'm not searching for 14 space b. I was searching for 14b, so I got no matches. No matches, does not exist. Similarly, for 68a and 14a, no matches. I thought there was an error in the specification in that this reference character was not described in the written specification. And I wrote no matches. And then I continued these other ones. Now notice, there are 27 sets of reference characters in figure 1. The description of figure 1 only discusses 8, okay? 19 of the reference characters are not discussed in the discussion of figure 1. Now, I think that's very bad, okay? One of the things, in fact, the main thing that I want as an examiner to learn about figure 1 is what are the names of these reference characters. When you describe figure 1, I want you to describe every reference character in this figure. Am I asking for too much? No, I'm not. I'm not asking for too much. But this specification does not do it because this specification is poorly written. Okay? Discussion of a figure should discuss every reference character in the figure unless it has been previously discussed. And that is not the case. Additionally, as I said, there is no explanation of reference characters. There is no parts list in this application, okay? I hate that. So I have to search to find what 60 is when I look at figure 1. This is very inconvenient. It wastes my time. I am not happy, okay? You do this to me as an examiner. You know what I do? I say bad words. I say bad words about the attorney that filed this. I say bad words about the engineer that wrote this application. I say bad words about the owner of the application. I say bad words about the inventor. And I love the inventors. I don't care. You do this to me, I say bad words. I even say bad words about the dog of the inventor. The inventor's dog. I say bad words about the dog of the inventor. This is not good for you as the applicant. Okay? The applicant does not want the examiner to say bad words. It's not good. It's not good. So, what do I do when I have these problems with the specification? I don't read the specification. I cannot read the specification. Okay? It's too badly written. The image is bad. The structure is bad. Cannot read it. Waste of my time. I only try to generate a parts list and annotated drawings. And I try to do that by searching for these characters, these reference characters in the text. It saves me a lot of time. Now, what errors occurred? Let's summarize the errors that happened so far. The specification had a bad image submitted. There is no parts list, no explanation of reference characters. Small letters, non-capital letters like this B, were used you should use capital letters like this B. Now, there's another thing about non-capital letters. Some of them, such as C, the non-capital C, or O. See, B is taller, right? But C is half the height of the 4. A small c here. Non-capital C is half of the height of the 4. It's too small. Technically, it's probably too small in the figure to read. It's illegible. Now, usually the draftsman will not reject the drawing for that reason, but he may. The specification is bad. This discussion of figure 1 does not mention 14b, for example. In fact, it does not mention 19 of the 27 reference characters. Bad hierarchy. For example, element 5 includes 4 and 6. A good set of reference characters shows the hierarchy of the features of the elements. This does not. I'll probably do a speech about reference characters later. Maybe my next speech. So, these 5 problems cause the 14b no matches problem, okay? When I search the Google text, I find no matches for 14b because it's 14 space B, okay? All of these things combine to force me to search the Google Patents text and to get this error, no matches, okay? So the applicant's sloppiness is causing me to make mistakes, okay? And very common. Now, I corrected this, I found it, but initially I thought no matches. You're wasting the examiner's time. The examiner's time is valuable. If you want the examiner to do good work for you, don't waste his time with these things. Continuing. Now let's look at the parts list. Here's the parts list. For example, 8A is shoulder belt. Consider the parentheses. 8A is the right shoulder belt. So the parentheses in the parts list can add very useful information. 5 body includes main body part 4 and back carry part 6. Okay, so there's hierarchy that's not clear from the numbers, but it's written here. Very useful. Now, look here. 20A through 20D are battery packs for battery receptacles 22A to 22D. Okay? And similarly, or inversely, 22A to 22D are battery receptacles for the battery packs. Okay? Battery receptacle, battery pack. Here's the information. So when you claim this battery pack, you may want to mention that it's configured to be inserted into a battery receptacle. Or if you claim the battery receptacle, you may claim that it's configured to receive the battery pack. Okay? Here is associated information. Very useful. Very useful. You see why I write these parts lists with parentheticals and preferably with good hierarchy, which really this does not have. It has some, right? We see that frame 14A has base portion, support portion, and through hole. So here's some useful hierarchy. Now, also consider through hole. I think in English, when we say hole, usually we mean through hole. It could be a through hole that goes all the way through, or it could be a what we call a blind hole that only goes part way. A partial hole or a blind hole. You cannot see through it, right? Here's a through hole. You can see through it. And here's a blind hole. You cannot see through the blind hole. It's a hole, but it's blind. Isn't that English nice? A blind hole. I suggest that for translation purposes, you simply say hole when you mean through hole, and say blind hole when you mean a blind hole. It saves one word. All right, let's continue. Parts 46 through 80B and parts 81 through 108. All right, that's a lot of parts. It's very useful to have the names. By the way, there are more parts. There are some parts that I did not include here. Colored figures are very useful for everyone, and you can submit them to the examiner. Let's look at figure 10. Figure 10 shows back plate here and support plate here. Now, when I looked at this figure without the colors, I did not understand the relationship that this was the support plate and this was the back plate. I didn't see it, and I'm pretty good at this, but I did not see it until I drew it, and now I understand, and I see many things. I see, for example, that the back plate is sliding the right side and the left side of the back plate are sliding inside of the support plate. And the support plate, these parts of the support plate are preventing rotation because they're hitting against these sides or slidingly contact these sides. Additionally, notice that along the bottom here we go, the bottom surface of the back plate here is coplanar with the bottom surface of the support plate. Okay, so if you put this on the ground, the bottom surface of the back plate touches and the bottom surface of the support plate touches. Very nice, very nice. This is very well designed. I like this. You have to give Makita credit. They have very good inventions. This is very nice. Let's go to the next slide. Now, this is the view of the same thing, the back plate and the support plate touching each other, but we're viewing it from the front. We're viewing rearward from the front. So this is front surface, front surface. All right, very nice. These two figures together are very useful, right? Look at that. So what else do we see here? Notice that this back plate has an overhang, a horizontal surface here. Let's do it like this. All right. Here's the back plate, and it has a surface that goes up like this. It goes up, but it has a surface here that points downward, and this surface hits the top surface of the support plate. Maybe right here. So this back plate is being supported partially by the upper surface of the support plate. I don't think that's discussed in the specification, but and it's being supported by the bottom surface of the back plate here from the other picture. Very nice. Additionally, Now we see the important part is that the front surface of the back plate down here that you cannot see touches the rear surface of the support plate. Let me say that again. The front surface of the back plate touches the rear surface of the support plate. And those surfaces are shown in two other figures that I don't have here, but I'm going to show it to you. Here is the support plate, the rear surface of the support plate, and here is the front surface of the back plate. So these two things contact each other like this. Okay? So what's important in this application? The support plate and the back plate, especially the rear surface of the support plate and the front surface of the back plate. All right? That's what's important. So the independent claim should have the support plate, it should have the back plate, and it should discuss the rear surface of the support plate and the front surface of the back plate and how they interact. Okay? That is the invention, or the most important invention. There are lots of inventions in this application. Continuing. Let's discuss the original claims without discussing the original claims. What do I mean? I'm going to discuss original claims in Japanese applications generally. When the examiner sees 5 original claims, the examiner knows or can guess with high probability that these claims are translated Japanese claims. Now, Japanese applications have 42% first action allowance. 42% of the applications to the Japanese Patent Office are allowed immediately on the first office action. Now, United States, 12%, 11%, some years 12% first action allowance. Let's consider that. Japanese, about 40%. American, about 10%. Do you see any difference between 40% and 10% for 1? Yes, this is different. This is very different. This is an indication that Japanese Patent Office has nothing to do with American Patent Office. Okay? This has nothing to do with this. Totally different standards, totally different procedures, totally different everything. Okay? Claims written for Japanese applications usually should not be submitted to the Patent Office, to the United States Patent Office. A translation is not sufficient. Continuing. So here's the Garcia rule. All potentially patentable features should be claimed in the original claims. Say it again. All potentially patentable features, all, should be claimed in the original claims, okay? This forces the examiner to work hard. This forces the examiner to search every potentially allowable feature. Make him work. Make me do my job. Make the examiner do his job. Do not file 5 very broad claims without all the engineering features, okay? Because then what will you do? If it's rejected, you add 1 feature, maybe. It gets rejected again. What do? You add another feature. It gets rejected again. What do? You add Another feature. This is a very bad way to prosecute patents. It's a very bad system. The good system is a good set of original claims. What do I mean by good? I mean claim all potentially patentable features, all engineering features. Claim them. And 10 to 16 claims, I believe, is a good number of claims. All right? 20 claims, I don't like it. Watch my speech about restrictions where I say less than 16 claims, 16 or less claims, I mean. 16 claims or less is good. Okay? 17, 18, not so good. So, what do we know? We know there are 5 original claims. What do we guess? We guess that these are translated claims from the Japanese application, and they're not going to be good. That's our guess. I'm not going to say anything about these claims because I have not read them. I don't want to read them. But I did write some claims that if this was my application, if I was writing this application, this is what I would do. This is not legal advice, but this is what I would do as a training exercise. As I discussed, I think the most important thing is the support plate. Second most important thing is the back plate. These two things together, the support plate and the back plate, interact. In fact, as I said in my proposed title, the back plate slides vertically relative to the support plate. Now, as I showed you with the figures, the most important part is the rear surface of the support plate, which contacts the front surface of the back plate. Okay? So, notice my device. Look at my preamble. This is a good preamble. This is how you write a preamble. A device comprising 3 words. Okay? 3 words. A device comprising. How many words do you want in a preamble? 3. 3. And I have 2 objects, 2 components in this claim. What are they? Support plate and back plate. That's all. Nothing else. I'll add other things later in the dependent claims. But here, independent claim, support plate, back plate. Now, as I said, I'm concerned with the rear surface of the support plate, so I want to give that a name. I call it support plate rear surface. All right? Notice my hierarchy, my indentation. How many things does the support plate have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Right here, 5. It has a support plate through hole, a support plate rear surface, support plate front surface, support plate bottom surface, support plate top surface. Notice rear surface, front surface. Notice how I distinguish those surfaces on a support plate in comparison to those surfaces on the back plate. The back plate has 1, 2, 3, 4 features that I want to discuss here. Elongated hole, a back plate front surface, a back plate rear surface, a back plate bottom surface. Okay? Look at my terminology. Look at my structure. Look at my hierarchy. Okay? This is good work. Okay? This is good work. This is what you're looking for in a claim. Very clear. Is this claim indefinite? No. This claim is definite. It's very clear, very definite. Now, understand, if a claim is rejected as indefinite in the first office action, any claim, what happens? What happens is the allowance rate, on average, goes from 70% to 50%, okay? An indefinite rejection in the first office action, it decreases the chances that you will be allowed from 70% to 50%, okay? Very bad. This is very definite, very definite. But this is only half. Let's consider the rest of this. Where in the support plate rear surface includes a vertical central guide recess. All right, guide recess 96. A right engagement portion and a left engagement portion, okay? Those are the things that we see on the rear surface. What about the back plate front surface features, engineering features that interact with these things? Well, one here, one here. A central guide protrusion 88 that fits in this recess and slides. A right engagement receiving portion that engages and receives this right engagement portion, and number 3, left engagement receiving portion that receives the left engagement portion. All right, 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3. Very clear, okay? Very clear. Now, it looks long, but it's very clear. Continuing, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. Conclusions. A bad specification image was filed. Okay, this seems to be some kind of, as I said, an artifact caused by compression, decompression, compression, decompression, using 2 different programs. This is my guess. But in any case, it's screwed up, it's bad, it causes errors, it causes many problems. Don't do it. Next. There is no parts list. This lack of a parts list combined with other errors caused me to think that there was no matches, okay? It caused the examiner for a short time to make a mistake, to think that there were no matches, to think that reference characters were not supported by the specification. Now, this specification caused the examiner to make an error for a short length of time. That's very bad. It's very bad. Trust me when I tell you the examiner does not like you if you do this to him. Colors and annotated drawings are very useful for everyone. They're useful for the attorney, they're useful for the examiner, they're useful for the engineer, they're useful for the client. Now, my opinion, it's impossible to write good claims without annotated figures, okay? If you don't have drawings with the names of the features on them, how can you remember? All right? I'm pretty smart. I'm above average. But did you see? There's 3 pages of reference characters. The parts list is 3 pages long. There's more than 50, less than 100, let's say 70 parts, 70 elements. Can you remember 70 elements in your head? 70 features, 70 names? Whew. It's difficult. You're going to make mistakes. Now, provide colored annotated figures to the examiner and to the U.S. Attorney. To the U.S. Attorney is easy. Now, if you submit a colored PDF, a colored image document to the Patent Office, what will happen? They remove the color. I've done it. The color does not show on the, I did this as an experiment. The color does not show on the database. The USPTO public pair database does not show the image. So the examiner will not see the color. Excuse me, does not show the color. The examiner will not see the color. The public will not see the color Now, is that color information stored somewhere? I don't know. Maybe. But in any case, you can't see it. You want the examiner to see the color. How do you do that? One way is you pay money to submit colored drawings, original colored drawings, physical, and 5 copies, and it's expensive, it takes time. No one ever does it. Well, for utility patent applications, no one does it. Now, what I've learned is there is a way to submit colors to the examiner so the examiner can see it. The way is email. Email directly to the examiner. The examiner sees your colored images. Now, when he saves them into the USPTO database, the color disappears. But when he receives the email, he sees the color, okay? So these colored figures you can submit to the examiner directly as 2 ways. One is, well, the best way is as part of an agenda, okay, for an interview. So you want to talk to him, you send him an agenda, you include colored annotated drawings, and he sees them and you discuss them, okay? Very useful, very useful. You want the examiner to understand the invention and maybe to help you. So, what else? The original claims should include every potentially patentable engineering feature, okay? These are utility patent applications. They should have some engineering in them. Claim every potentially patentable feature in the original claims, okay? The original claims. If not, then the first office action is really substantially wasted, okay? The examiner has not examined, he has not considered these engineering features, okay? Because they're not in the claims. So why should he search for them? Why should he spend his time searching for them if you have not taken the time to put them in the claims? If you don't think they are important, why should the examiner think that they are important? And the answer is, he doesn't. The end of Chocolate with Ed Garcia. This was speech 15, examination. This was the best speech ever. It was the best speech ever. Yes, it was. This was the best speech ever. And we have to look at Mount Fuji. Why? Because we are Japanese. You're Japanese, I'm Japanese. Well, I'm a little bit I'm a little bit Japanese. I like hotosake. All right, here's Mount Fuji, and this is Shimo Meguro. Shimo Meguro, and the colors are wonderful, right? Tall tree, white sky, blue in the distance, white on blue. Very nice, very nice. What I like to do is expand these portions of these figures. I like to expand portions of these pictures to look more closely at the detail, especially the humans, right? You have to look at the humans. What are the people doing? These people, these people, let's look at them. Look. It's a bird. A hawk on his arm. This fellow also, a hawk on his arm. These guys, these 2 men are out hunting for rabbits. Delicious. They want to catch a rabbit and eat it for dinner. They're very happy. It's a good day. The hawk is happy. The hawk gets to fly and catch some fresh rabbit for dinner. They're very happy. And this guy, what's this guy doing? Well, I know what he's doing. He's saying, please give me 1 rabbit. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. It's hard to tell. He's bent over. Maybe he's working here or maybe he's very old, right? You see the very old Japanese people. They're bent over. Wonderful. And there's a woman with a baby in the back and a small child here. And this is, what is this? Is this a basket for rice? To throw rice, and so the wind takes the straw and the rice goes here? Is this a rice basket? Maybe, maybe. And then this guy, he's carrying, it looks like a hoe for digging in the dirt. I'm not sure. So here are the people, the men with the hawks. Here's the woman with the baby near the house. And here's the man with the hoe walking away. And what's in his hand? What is this? What is that? What is that? I think that's his lunch. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Arigatou gozaimasu. Makita ga daisuki desu. Makita ga daisuki desu. Makita ga daisuki desu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Sayonara. Bye bye.